Hello everyone, this is Crystal Potthoff and I'm ready to start another pattern inspired by this Quilt Love of Quilting magazine, March-April 2016. And what I am going to do is this pattern, going to put something like this on, I'm going to start with a chicken egg. And what I like is how this like stair step thing, which I've done before on an egg and I really like, but I like the way they kind of like, you know, they fit together. I think that looks cool. So here we go. I have started to draw this. I'm gonna leave this out here. Turn it over like that. Okay, on a chicken egg. And I probably drew it 50 times before. Okay, 50 might be an exaggeration. It was more than 2. I drew it out several times to get something that I thought was going to be representative of this pattern. I'm still not quite sure that I like it or exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to start on it. I had to grid it out into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5x5 grid here, and then there's 3 of them. So there's 3 rows of 5x5 grids. And that was more math, and I like math, but that was a lot of math. And like I said, I think I have it, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to give it my best shot. My original plan was to do the outlines in black, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I would have to draw a lot of lines on here so that I could dye the egg black. And I'm not up for that right now, not on the test pattern. So the test pattern is going to have white lines. So I've got a lot to draw on here, and I still kind of have to figure out the stair step in this 5x5 square. I've got little X's where I want the like this, where this dark color would be. And I'm actually thinking I'm just going to do the colors in here so I don't have to think too hard about that part. But I might change my mind about that too. But anyway, so I'm going to get started on this. I'm going to wax some of the initial lines, and then I'll come back and show you if I've still decided to work on this egg, because this one was challenging. We'll see what happens. I like a challenge, and this one's a challenge. So I started drawing this, and it was actually much easier than I anticipated, and I'm very glad I gridded it out, even though it hurt my brain. So let me show you how I'm doing this. Now it gets a little weird, you know, it's not flat. This is flat. Everything looks the same. This is not. So this square looks really nice, but this one, you know, it's a little different because it's narrow there. But anyway, I'm going to do this one. So I'm using my Luba's Electric with the fine tip. So what I did first was I outlined the square, the 5x5 little square. And I can't even tell you how big each square is. I don't remember now. I just know I did a whole lot of measuring to come up with it. So I did that. And they kind of go every other one. So now I'm going to draw these lines that divide it into 8 pieces of the pie. And I will tell you, when I did this one, I drew the line from the corner to the center individually because of the top being so much smaller. It's not really a straight line. It's just the way it works out. Okay, now I'm going to draw the bigger star. because it had like a small star and a bigger star around it. Now I'm feeling all confident and thinking, well, maybe I'll change up the colors too. But, you know, maybe one step at a time. I get the pattern drawn first. Okay, so there's that straw. Now I'm going to start. Now I'm going to draw the smaller one inside of it. And for this, just completely eyeballing it, kind of using the grid that's there, but not always. Again, some of that's because it's, you know, at a, you know, it's round. That's why. Okay, so now up here, I'll show you this one. I'm going to draw out this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All right. And now I'll draw these lines. 1, 2. Kind of eyeballing it again. And now here's where I'm drawing this line, and then I'll draw that line like that, because I want it needs to go from the center to the corner. It doesn't necessarily need to be a straight line. And I'll draw this too. And the star at the top and the bottom of the egg, they do look a little, you know, odd because of dealing with a curved surface, but I'm going to move forward with this because I liked that part of the design. We'll see what happens. This is the test egg. All right, so there. Okay, so I've got these two. Now, here is where I start drawing what I call the stair steps, where it's like green here and red there, that kind of that black part. Okay, so let's do that. So what I did was, so you can see I drew it here. So this is where the grid comes in very handy. I'm actually following the grid. I'm going around the second one and the third one. So there. Good. Okay. Now, you see there where they kind of hook together. All right, so let's do this one. So it's gonna go like this. And then it'll come over here and it will go like that. Okay. I do have to figure out what I'm going to do at the top and the bottom. I want to put that in there. I'm just going to have to figure out how to do it. Anyway, so there we go. Getting it in there. It's working. It's happening. It's happening. Okay. It's just going to take a little while to get all of this drawn on here, but it is coming together much better than I thought after it took me so long to get it drawn on there. All right, I'll come back after I get all the wax on it and show you what I did. So I have all of the lines on here with the initial waxing. At first it was real easy to draw, and then I got a little confused making sure I got all the lines where they were supposed to be, but I've checked it and double checked it, so I think I've got it all right. So that's the egg, and this is the, there we go. That's the inspiration. I thought maybe it would be helpful if I drew it out for you on a piece of paper. So I have this, and I know you probably can't see it, but it's gridded out into squares of 5, 5 rows of 5, and then I have 3, 3, and 3. Now on the egg, I did 6. So I did going around. There's 6. I'm sure I did it that way because of the math. And right now, the math was pretty taxing on me. So I think it would have been better if this had been 4, because then these 4 would have been more like the 4 in here. But that's okay. I don't think I could have fit that on there anyway. So this is how I waxed it. So I would wax the center square like this. So I'd wax the center square, and then I waxed, I divided it into the pieces of 8. So I did that, that, and that. That's what I did first. And then I did, well, let's say I waxed the square above and below. We'll do this one above. Now remember, this is a flat surface, so it's nice and even. On the egg, this is oval shaped, so this is kind of going this way. This is not going to be this nice and flat on, or I should say this nice and even on your egg, but that's okay. Just so you know that. Now I did that, and then I drew the big 8-pointed star. And then I drew a smaller one inside of it. And now when I'm saying drawing, I mean with the wax. All right. And then I would do the same thing up there. And then let's just pretend there's one here too. Okay, now the tricky part comes, it was for me, when I start doing the stair step thing. And I'm gonna draw this one too. All right. So this is divided into 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your stair step goes, you don't do it there. You start at the next line, and then you go over, and then up, and it looks like that. Now on this one, so, well, here, let's draw them all 4 around here. So 1, 2, apparently these were not, I just kind of eyeballed this division just so you could see it. Okay, so I drew those all the way around that. Now in the egg, you know, of course this is going to go all the way around it. But now what you do is you draw it here on the side of this one. So I'm going to do it, and it's going to touch. Not, mine didn't always touch. So there's that one, and then this one had one. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Okay. And then if there were one over here, it would go like that. So now, so I have all these lines drawn. Now is I'm getting ready to dye the egg, and I'm going to have to really pay attention, because these things, to me, when I just look at them, when everything's white, it's a little confusing. So what they would be is like this one, and I'm just going to color it. I don't know that these are the colors I'll use, but that and that would be one color. And then these would be another color. So if I'm looking at this one would be this color. And that would be this color. And this would be this color. And then let's say this would go in here. Obviously filled in much better than where I did that. And then this would be like this. And these would be obviously I'd be doing these in I wouldn't be going back and forth in colors like I am. Okay, so that's how you draw it, and that's kind of my plan on waxing it. The only thing I have left to really think about is what colors I'm actually going to use. I was going to use the colors similar in here, but and I thought, well, I'll just switch the white and the black, but that I don't believe is going to work with the way I drew it. So I have an idea, and come back, we'll see how my color scheme is going. So for the first color, I decided to use the Borealis green from Ukrainian Accessories. And that's going to be my green color here. Now, I was studying. Okay, at first I thought I maybe did these colors backwards, but no, I don't think I did. So when I did it on that diagram. So I was studying these, and each one of these stars, the colors are in the same spot. So I did the easy part first. I waxed the green part of the stars. Now I am ready to start waxing these areas here that are green. So I will start, and I'm using my Luba's Electric with the fine tip. I really could use something bigger, but I'm going to use the fine one for right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline. So the ones on the side are green. So that'll be these and this. And that. And that. Piece of fuzz on there. Okay, get rid of that later. All right, and that. And that. Okay, and now, so if that was, we'll say this row, the one up above, okay, it's going to be there and there. Okay, okay, I think I got this. All right, so I'm going to go and fill in all of those areas. I'm going to use my medium tip because it's a pretty big area. And fill in all those, and then I am going to wash the egg off because I want to do, rather than red, I'm going to do pink. Now I was noticing on here, like at the top, they did that different. I'm adapting this to my liking. So I'm going to wax the areas that need to stay green, I'm going to wash it. I'm going to dye it pink, I think. I'm not sure. I have to think about this. I will meditate upon this as I am waxing the green areas. So here's my color dilemma. I drew my lines white, and on here, they're black, but I mean, this is also a drawing. But I didn't want to do this area white because then you wouldn't see the white dividing line. So anyway, so I went with orange. And that, where I'm going to do the orange is where you see the white on here, it's going to be orange on here. Because on this was the egg I did last week, and I went with some color choices that I wouldn't necessarily have done, but I like the way they turned out. So let's just, keep that thought process going, trying to do things a little different. So I did wash it back. I put it in the Ukrainian gift shop orange. I will probably rinse it again before I put it in the pink. And then I'm going to do purple for the final color. So that's my plan. But right now I'm going to wax all the orange areas. So while I was waxing these areas to stay orange, I discovered, and maybe somebody already saw this, I forgot to wax the parts in this star that should have been green, like they were here. This is not a tragedy. I have to wash the egg back anyway before I put it in the pink, so I will wash it back. I will paint the area here, wax it, and then I'll have to rinse that off because they'll be green where the pink will be, because I know I can't paint the green in some of these little bitty areas. So just another added step in the design of this egg. So I'll do that. I'll wash it, paint it green, wax that, rinse it again, pink, and then purple. It's turning out, well, the process of creating it, once I figured out the gridding, it's working out for me. We'll see what it ends up looking like at the end. So here I have all of the colors on it. We started with the Borealis green, washed it, did the orange, found a mistake, washed it, fixed the green, rinsed off that little part, did the pink. This pink is Magenta Fireweed from Ukrainian Accessories, and then I put it in the Crown Purple, also from Ukrainian Accessories. So what is left now is take the wax off. Let's see what it looks like when it's all prettied up. So here was our inspiration, Love of Quilting, March, April 2016 edition, and this was the quilt pattern that inspired our Pysanky design, and this is the banded LeMoyne stars with alternating chain blocks. I probably mispronounced that, and I apologize. Quilt by Deb Tucker and machine quilting by Mara Novak. This was the design I used as my, we'll call inspiration. And here is the completed Pysanky. Let's move this out of the way so you can see it a little better. So here it is. I like the way it turned out. Obviously different from the one in the book because it's a curved surface, it's not flat. But I do like the way it turned out. I learned a lot. I learned patience and endurance in trying to draw out a pattern like this. But I stuck with it and I got it done. And because this video is airing on July 4th, which in the US is Independence Day, I decided to make a second one with the red, white, and blue colors. And I did a little different than here. Tried some different things to see if I liked it or not. But anyway, so this was these two patterns. What I'm going to do next week is I'm going to do the same pattern, do it on a goose egg, and try to do it more in the middle part of the egg so I don't get so much of this narrowness here that happens on the chicken egg. But it worked on the chicken egg, and I do like it. I like my little patriotic egg. So anyway, it's been fun. I'm glad I stuck with it. And we'll be back next week to see how this looks on a goose egg. Thanks so much for watching.